Hey everybody, it's me, Russ. In this video, I do a little over a month, in the Lyft Express Rental. And I show you the money, all right? I'm here in the Seattle market, here at SeaTac Airport, as I'm recording this here now. And every city's different, so don't watch this video and assume that if you're in LA, you're gonna make the same amount of money. For example, this is a shot of what I'm making in the rental per mile, per minute, that kind of thing. So 93 cents a mile, it's a little more than some markets. So keep that in mind. Heads up, if you find this video entertaining or educational, please hit that thumbs up button for me, all right? And subscribe to the channel for more content like you're seeing now. I don't just do rideshare videos. This is also going to be a very honest review, all right? And while, yeah, there's information down in the comments section where you can become a driver, you can get my invite, you click on the invite, but I'm going to be honest, and I'm not here to recruit you, right? Like, it's great if you want to be a driver, fine. But this is going to be a very honest review. I'm not here to sell you anything. This is my second video on reviewing the Lyft Express Rental. The first video was a week. This one, I drive a month in the Express Rental. All right, was I too hard on Lyft in the first video? Was it just bad luck? Maybe. All right, let's see what it actually costs and if it's worth doing this for you, the viewer. The Express Rental thing, does it fit into your life? Is it something that you may want to do? This review is my opinion and my own research. This is a review, all right? So the opinions of the host are not necessarily reflective of Lyft or any, I don't know. I didn't think this out. I should have wrote something down, right? Legal jargon, disclaimer, insert here, all right? Keep in mind, I am in the Seattle metro area. If you're out in the sticks somewhere or you're not close to a major city, I wouldn't recommend it. I'll be honest with you. Man, folks who are 50 miles or better away from a major city, there's just not a lot of money to be made doing this. So, I'll throw that out there. And to embark on this adventure, I have a long bus ride because there's only one Hertz Lyft lot as this is being recorded in the Seattle metro area, and it's a long way from home. I live north of Seattle, here in Everett, Washington, and we're traveling all the way down across Seattle metropolis to Renton. And the bus ride, yeah, it's about 2 hours it's going to take. And, oh, look, Lyft. There's a Lyft, little representing there. It's a long trek. Supplies. It's quite the drive. So that's probably going to take me an hour or two because of transfers and things like that. So off we go. Here's some things you might need to bring with you if you're going to rent the car. So here in the Seattle area, we have to bring one of these permits. It has to be on the dashboard in King County in order to pick up at the airport. So there's that. I've got my phone holder. This is a specialized one. It holds my phone while it's in the wallet. So I kind of modified it right there. It needs a smiley face right under those screws, is what it needs. But they will include a charger for you. Lyft rental, the Hertz rental place, they did include a charger for me. Body spray, because it is summertime. Depending on the size of the car, that's always a good bet. My car DVR, I always have my dash cam rolling outward, right? Not recording. This is a cheapo. I got it on Groupon. It was a Groupon, like $25. So I'm bringing that with me. My good to go pass. This is my flex pass so that I can go through the tolls here in the Seattle area, the bridges. Of course, I got my charging ports. Sometimes they come with them, but I've got these. I carry, I put a little Velcro on there too, but I keep chargers with me, my aux cord, and good old Velcro in case I need to Velcro more things into the rental itself. And then I use a little Goo Gone in order to take it off when I return the vehicle. And just for good measure, I always like to have a box of Kleenex, allergies, and something to wipe the car down. You can also use a microfiber cloth if you want to be more environmentally friendly. But those are always good for bird poop. You don't want to be driving around with bird poop in your car. To wipe the car down. It's just good. I made it! Here I am in another Lyft Express Rental as my van is broken down again. Yes, so giving this another try, giving Lyft the benefit of the doubt. This time I rented a Nissan Sentra. This is a 2017 Nissan Sentra. It gets really good gas mileage. It's again, of course, it's a sedan, 4-door, pretty roomy, and so far I like it. All right, especially since I don't have to fix it if it breaks down. Although, this is something I've learned, is we are going to have to pay for rock chips if those happen, and tire repairs if we end up running over a nail or something like that. Insurance is covered, which is great, but there is a $1,000 deductible. So with taxes and the rental fee, which I believe is like $220, it's $264 a week. All right, here in Washington State, they love to tax just about everything, so this is part of the deal. Paying that much taxes on this here vehicle. So yeah, there's a reason I started this video here in this location. I'm down by Shill Shoal Park in Seattle, Washington, right near the Puget Sound is right behind me there, and I figured I would shoot this video near this cool little waterway here and stairway. It's kind of a cool metaphor, right? Life is a path, and sometimes, a lot of times, it's a path uphill. So to be clear, it's 20 rides, and I would pay for the $264 out of that 20 rides. All right, so I must do 20 rides, minimum rides. The money and the earnings from those 20 rides goes towards that $264. Does that make sense? So, and I've hit that today. So I started Monday with the vehicle. Actually, I didn't work Monday at all. I took Monday off. Still had the vehicle. Tuesday, I worked and I made a little over $100. I went out for a few hours. A total of 8 hours I was online. Most of that was me kicking around the house up in Everett. I did 11 rides yesterday. Today so far, and it's about 11 a.m. as I'm recording this, I've done 9 rides. So I've reached my 20 ride minimum, but I still need another about $90 in order to pay for the vehicle for the week. And again, I start earning as soon as I cross the $264 threshold. Or yeah, it starts 5 a.m. Monday morning till Sunday evening is how it works. And I take at least one day off, man. You got to do that. You got to Sabbath, right? You'll lose your mind if you work every day. It's just good for you. Anyway. Okay, YouTube, so this is 2 days of work where I drove the rental 15 hours and accomplished paying off the rental. So I didn't work Monday or Tuesday, started working yesterday. I worked about 4.5 hours and then 10 hours today, and I covered the rental and got an extra $35 for gas tomorrow. Continuing on with the rental experiment, trying this again to see if it's worth doing. Does it pay better than retail? First day of earning. It's Friday. I worked Wednesday and Thursday to pay for this vehicle. Made $35 after vehicle's been paid. That was yesterday. So here we go, the earnings. This is gross before the rental is taken out. And here is what I netted for the week between August 26th and September 1st. And it averaged out to almost $15 an hour. So 14.7 something an hour is what I made for this week. Jump on in and let's take a ride through this week in the rental. And some of you may be thinking, yeah, but $15 an hour ain't much, all right? There's some retail jobs that pay that. I can work at Amazon and put boxes in other boxes for $15 an hour. Yeah, and I'm gonna try and average this out over a month, and every week is different doing this job. So there's that. One of the things that you have to factor in, though, is the fact that you get a car. All right, that's a pretty cool perk. And once you do your 20 rides and pay for the car for the week, you have unlimited offline miles. All right, that means miles for personal use. So unlike having a job where you get a car, this car you can drive all week long as much as you want, and that comes with your rental fee, which, yeah, is expensive, but at $15 an hour with being self-employed or driving for Lyft, you don't have FICA, all right, taking big chunks of money out of the amount you make. You cash out, that's what you get. Oh, but Russ, you owe a bunch of money at the end of the year. Not necessarily, all right? I think last year I paid something like $160 worth of taxes. All right, it wasn't much compared to my friends who make the same amount of money and have jobs. Just because when you're self-employed, you have big deductions that you get to, right? It takes away from what you owe the federal government because you're giving yourself a job, basically. And that's kind of why that tax perk exists. So yes, even that $264 huge rental fee, I get to deduct from my taxes, which is a good thing, all right? A bad thing is we don't get unemployment insurance. So we're not paying into that. So if you get it deactivated, yeah, you're not paying into it, so you don't receive it. Another thing, I needed possibly disability insurance if I ended up disabled, and that was really expensive. I couldn't afford it. It was over $400 a month, and it didn't kick in until 90 days of being unemployed. So I said no to disability insurance. And why is that? I had them explain it to me, and they said that driving all day is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, all right? I was one notch over a UPS driver and being a salesperson for a pizza franchise, and I was one notch under a police officer. And the reason for that is police officers, all right, for example, most of them don't get shot by bad guys, all right, become disabled in automobile accidents, not from chasing down robbers. Okay, so yeah, that's something to consider if you're going to do this as a full-time gig, is spending 8 to 12 hours a day behind the wheel of a vehicle is not the safest job you could be doing. But as for me, I'm going to get back in the rental, get back to work. So September 2nd through 8th of 2019, I did a gross of $837, 80 rides. That's 54 hours, 22 minutes. And again, a lot of that was me hanging around my house in Everett. So while I was online, I wasn't necessarily driving. So my net here for the week was $581.37. So again, we're getting right around $15 an hour is what I'm making net after driving. Might be thinking, what about gas? Do about $100 in this car a week, and that's not just Lyft. All right, that's everything. That's driving it all week long. $100 a week in gas. So towards the end, I'll factor that in to the monthly, right, hourly deal that this is costing. So I hear you. I know.
That kind of gas mileage, that's pretty damn good right there. Look at that.
Tip for you. I was downtown doing a bunch of short trips, saw that the pink zone popped up for the bonus, and what I did was I turned the app off and waited to get into the pink zone, as you can see here, before I turned it back on again. And I got a ride right away. And I got a bonus rather than staying downtown and not getting a bonus. In the third week, September 9th through the 15th of 2019, as you can see, I did much better money-wise. There's a lot of luck involved in this. Working hard is one thing, but yeah, there's a lot of positioning yourself, luck and chance, some of that is involved as well. As you can see, I did 48 hours and 24 minutes. So another additional 8 hours onto the 40. But again, a lot of this was hanging out at my house, not really out there, getting the ride. So $148.91 in this week of doing rideshare. 80, also that's 80 rides, so I hit my bonus of $60 to add on to that time. Quick tip also, speaking of working, I don't consider being online working, technically, all right? There's a strategy to this. There's being places, yes, while you're online, where you're going to get business, all right? So if I'm hanging around at home, yes, I can get business around my home, but it's not that busy, all right? Now, if you live in a major city and say you live downtown in downtown Seattle or something like that, sure, you turn the app on, you're working, right? Because you're in an area where rides are aplenty. But if you're not, and you just turn on the app to be online, I don't consider you really working, right? If you know that you may get one ride an hour, if you're lucky, hanging around your house, you're not really working, all right? So for me, I come here to the airport, this is working for me. Or I head into the And I'm back. Speaking of working while making videos, my point is, when I say 40 hours a week, even though technically underneath the amount of money I made, it said 49 hours. When I say I worked 40 hours, that was me actually working. Do you understand? See, that's me actually getting out there. Yes, while I was online, I commuted into areas where business exists rather than just sitting around my house and complaining that I'm not making any money, right? If you're sitting in a place where rides aren't plentiful, saying that Uber and Lyft don't work, I have sympathy, right? I may have empathy, right? That's why I'm doing some of these videos. But I don't have sympathy for you. If you say that you're working, you're not really working because you're not putting yourself out there, strategizing and getting into places where there's business. That's my point. So, oh, and there's another. While I enjoy driving around the Seattle area, the Space Needle in that shot, is it worth it? Breaking down so far kind of an hourly rate. I made, that would be $14 an hour, all right? After subtracting the car rental fee, and that's not subtracting gasoline. So if we went ahead and subtracted gas, $100 for the week, that puts us, again, this is giving Lyft the benefit of the doubt, around $12 an hour, right? Wah, wah. So maintenance and repair fees, those are covered, so that's a good thing. But with the perk of having the car, you're still making about $12 an hour. At least I was this week. So, but again, the month isn't over. We're gonna factor this out. We're gonna, right? What is a month? More to come. And week number 4, once again at SeaTac Airport in the big place. So here we are, week number 4 with $566, September 16th through the 22nd, and total hours online about 49 hours here. Booked time 25 hours? It's coming. This is, again, so based on a 40-hour week, I'm going to count 9 of those hours as either commuting time or just hours that I was hanging out at my home doing stuff around the house. But yeah, $566.12 net minus around $100 for gas. That puts me at $466.12 for the week there. Buckled up, out and rolling today. As you can see, I'm a little more professionally dressed today, wearing the suit jacket with the Jimi Hendrix shirt. That's about as professional as I'm gonna get doing this job. Anyway, I wanted another tip for you that I wanted to add during this 5-week epic journey in the rental is the fact that this is a people job, all right? This is a service industry kind of thing. You're dealing with human beings other than, right? That's what makes this a lot different than Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, all these where you're driving people's food. That's a service industry thing too. But when you're actually delivering people, spending time with people in the car, that's why we're paid a little more. All right, this job tends to pay a little better. I guess depends on the city. I guess if you're in a place where there's a lot, I just can't imagine anyone making money at that. Like, I checked it out. I didn't do Uber Eats. You know, I have a friend that did it for a while, and it's like you got to go to the restaurant, you got to pick up the food, you got to drop the food off at the person's place, and then you go to another restaurant. So it just seems like to get paid a small amount of money, it just didn't seem worth it to me. A lot of work for not a lot of money. All right. But anyway, I digress. Back to the people person part. All right. Now, there's two things that I've noticed when it comes to doing this job that are really important. Some people like to talk. Some people want to chat with you, and some people don't. All right. Some people don't want to talk to you at all, and that's okay. But how, Russ, do you discern between the two? Because your ratings kind of depend on it. Now, I was in sales for the better part of 20 some odd years, all right? Pretty close to 25 years I was in sales. You learn a lot about people in sales, and that's one thing that I've learned about this job, and this is what I'll pass along to you guys when it comes to dealing with people. Now, when someone gets in the car, usually people start, they'll say something about the weather, or how are you doing, how was your day? Some of this is just people being nice, all right? They're acknowledging your presence and existence, and that's, especially here in the States, like, I don't know, Canada, right? Like, this is kind of just being formal, and you may bring up the weather or something. Here in Seattle, we have the Seahawks. It's football season. It's Friday. Some people wear, like Seahawks jerseys and stuff. And that, people will say something about that. But, so beyond that, I always let people lead, all right? So, someone gets in the car, they start talking about the weather, and I'll engage them in that, and then I'm quiet, all right? And sometimes this is hard, especially for me, because I like to talk. Again, I was in sales. I enjoy people. It's especially after I've had a lot of coffee, like I've had as I'm recording this video. I got my 22 ouncer going and blabbing away into my iPhone here for the sake of a video. There's no mistake. Right? That's not a coincidence. So I enjoy folks. I like chatting with folks, and sometimes I have to stifle myself, right? Flaps. I need to know, like brakes. We're gonna pump the brakes on this one, Russ. This person may be introverted and may not want to talk, and that's okay. So after we've said our pleasantries, right, about the weather and whatnot, I keep my mouth shut. Now, people will try and engage you, maybe again, and that's always a little bit frustrating because people ask you the same questions a lot, like, how long have you been doing this, right? Do you like it? Stuff like that. And I have my stories, like sometimes if somebody wants to talk, and I'll share some stories about doing this job and people I've met, and how every day's an adventure and every day's a little different and stuff like that. So those people want to talk, obviously, right? When they're bringing stuff up, or they ask you a few questions. There's sometimes I really don't want to talk, and I know that some of you are going to go through that. Some days you're in a bad mood, or something horrible's happened. You got in a fight with your significant other, and somebody wants to chat you up, right? You're just not feeling it, not feeling like talking. So here's something I learned from a book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Anybody out there who's looking to do anything that's in the people business, I recommend this book highly. Also, if you just want to learn about, business and success, like stuff like that, if you're interested in that kind of thing, I recommend it because Mr. Carnegie, Dale Carnegie, was one of the first billionaires, all right, here in the United States. So he's got some wisdom. And in that book, he talks about the art of getting folks to talk about themselves. learning a person's name. And we have the luxury of seeing their name as soon as it pops up on the screen. And sometimes if I can't pronounce their name, I'll ask them, how do you pronounce your name? Like, I'll just straight up say it, you know? I'm a freaking white guy from the United States, you know? I'm used to names like Scott and Bill and Bob and Mary and Ruth and, right? Stuff like Katie, right? Skylar. These names are easy. These are easy names for people in my culture. But some of these Indian names, I like names that are different. Asian names, that stuff's cool, and I'll repeat it in my mind. Sometimes after I get their name, I'll try and tie things that sound similar, and I'll use their name in a conversation. People love to hear their names. All right, this is getting you tips, by the way, too. Not just tips for life, but tips that come in as a driver. We get tips. So being nice to people, using their name a lot, being interested in people, you get them to talk about themselves. This is what I do when I don't want to talk. I just encourage them to talk about themselves. I'll ask them about their job. What do you do? Oh, that's really interesting. Tell me more, right? And this is great when you don't want to talk, because they'll do all the talking and you become an active listener. Practicing listening is really good too. You look for things, you mind things. Do you have kids? You know, what do your kids do? What are your kids' names? What, you know, are they in school? What grade are they in? What does your spouse do? You know, these kinds of things, people will rattle on for the entire trip. You know, you just get them talking about themselves, and they'll go off. You know, that's one of the things that Mr. Carnegie says in his book. One of the sweetest things to a person's ears is their own name. You know, you use that a lot, but people will instantly like you. You express interest in them, they will instantly like you. How do you know when someone doesn't want to talk? Well, they won't engage you past the weather and the pleasantries. They'll put earbuds in, right? That's a good sign. They don't want to talk. Or they're staring at their phone. You know, we have a rear view mirror. You just kind of watch where their head's at, and if their head's looking down at their screen, if they pull out a laptop or a tablet, odds are they don't want to talk to you. All right? So shut up. I have to tell myself that sometimes, especially if I'm in a mood to talk. I just got to shut up, man, and just let it be. And there was one time in my ratings where I got 2 comments, and they were right next to each other. It was even in the same day. This is back when Lyft used to have a lot more. They used to encourage people to comment on us drivers. One person said, "Hey, great conversation, really nice meeting. The driver was really friendly." And then the next one was, "Thanks for not talking to me. It was a really tough day, and I'm just really thankful that you didn't chat, you know, or want to talk." And that was one of the days where I'm like, oh, you know, that's pretty cool. Like I learned something from my sales career in dealing with people. So hopefully passing that along to you in this video here. And here we are, week number 5, rounding out to the month of September, the 23rd through the 29th, and 5/29/98. Wah, wah. That wasn't a great week. Only did 70 rides there, and that's 40 hours exactly on the nose here. You can see I did a little more booked time, a little more than half of the time I was online, yet still earned less money, which is interesting, right? To say the least, under booked time there. Also, yes, missed my bonus, so that's part of the numbers here. See the 80 rides I got the previous week there. That gave me a $60 bonus, which adds to how much I net in the week. See? And yeah, so that you want to hit those numbers. If you can get 90 rides, knock yourself out. All right. Again, if I lived in downtown Seattle, maybe I'd hit those numbers as well, but not in 40 hours. Nope. All right, breaking down some numbers. 1 month in the Lyft Express Rental in the Seattle area, showing you the money. This is based on 5 weeks or 1 month, 4 days from August 26th to September 29th, 2019. After the weekly rental fee, which was $1329.95. Check this out. It went up $1. All right, see that? $1.07. Just in the time making this video, in 1 month, the rental fee went up. So this is one of the examples of the incremental way we lose money over time, and our income goes down rather than up because of these little boiling the frog kind of things that are, deducted from the amount of income we can earn. Something to be warned about, all right? So here we go. After breaking down each week, those are the rental, that's what I made after subtracting rental fees. So the conclusion, right? $29.11, subtract the fuel costs for driving this vehicle. It's about $100 a week. Here we go. So 40 hours. I'm going to go to do an hourly rate, all right? 40 hours times 5 is 200 hours. Now, you divide that by the amount of money I made after rental costs and fuel costs. That's $2,411.09. Again, divided by 20 hours. This is $12 and about 5 cents an hour, all right? That's what I made total for the month, and that's a little over a month. So it's 1 month, 4 days. It's an average of about $2,000 a month is where I, that's about what I'm making. And listen, you don't have a car payment and you're not paying for insurance, so there's a big perk there. But is $12.05 an hour worth it? That's something you're going to have to answer for yourself. All right, $12 an hour, and that's in a pretty good market, all right, here in the Seattle area. But is it worth it to not have to call in to take a day off anymore, right? Having the freedom to do that. There's just a lot of freedom in this kind of work. It's a little addicting, even, I could say. One thing about this that I've noticed, doing this for 4.5 years, it gets a little worse every year, all right? They're kind of whittling down the amount of money drivers make. I believe this has to do with sort of the frog in the pot analogy, because soon there will be autonomous vehicles replacing our job, probably sooner than a lot of us think. The frog in the pot analogy is this. If you heat up a pot of hot water, you're going to boil a frog for dinner, right? You don't just throw that frog in the pot of boiling water. He'd jump right out. It's like, this is too hot. I'm getting out of here. This is horrible. And he'd jump away. But if you put the frog in the pot and you turn it up really slowly, incrementally over time, you could boil the frog to death and he won't even move. He'll just sit in there like he's in a jacuzzi until he's boiled and he's dinner, all right? That's the analogy. I believe that's kind of what's going on in this industry, because eventually they're going to phase out human drivers. It's coming, all right? So, and I don't know what's going to happen until then, but the quality of driver tends to go down. I'm actually looking for another gig. I might do package delivery for Amazon now just because it pays better. It didn't used to pay better, right? When I first started doing this, I could make a lot more money than delivering packages for Amazon, but now delivering packages for Amazon sounds like a better way to go. But again, the freedom in this job is pretty cool. And 20 rides a week, $266 here in the Seattle area with the high taxes, right? It's $219 just to rent the car. That's kind of cool, right? I mean, you could do that in 8 to 10 hours, odds are, a week, roughly. So it's something to think about. And if you do, please use my invite in the comment section here. I don't know if I'll be your personal trainer or whatever. I don't know how it works in other cities, but you could be in contact with me if you're in the Seattle area. But anyway, you want to be on board? You can be on board by clicking that link. If you don't, I understand. Thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel where there's lots more than just rideshare stuff.